Class is in session and welcome back. Professor Mo in the house, and we're ready to get down to business here. A lot of things on the line for this week when it comes to crypto, and it is all contingent on this Clarity Act. I can't say this enough. You've been warned. If it passes, if we get positive movement, it doesn't even have to be done this week. In other words, they're voting on the 27th for a version of it. But that doesn't get us to where we need to be, and I'm going to explain why. And the charts have a lot of success already in crypto prices right now that the Clarity Act is going to pass. You see a lot of institutions, those risk takers out there already buying. And now we're at a moment, we're at a crossroads, if you will, that things may not go as well as we want. Or is this kind of the storm before the calm? That's right, a little reversal here, where you're seeing all this noise and this blustering and anger and everything's terrible and this is just the end of everything, and then all of a sudden, boom, an announcement, they have come to an agreement. Which one's it going to be? You can let me know down below in the comments, because I'm actually curious to hear what you all think. If you've been following along, or, you know, you kind of watch this over the years, the decades of how things work in DC. I've been there. I've been watching. You guys know for 5 years we've been coming on here. I bring my educational background, 2-time national champion, 15-time state coach / teacher. We've been recognized in DC, in the Senate floor in Harrisburg multiple times. And now I'm on here, a past financial advisor for the country's largest advising firm, trying to help you make sense of all of this. And I can tell you, as I watch all of this, and we go through it, this is a big video, and we're going to cover a lot. This video is not for just give me the facts, Mo. I want 30 seconds. Not for you. This is not a get rich quick. This is I want to build financial freedom. I want generational wealth. I know it takes work. I got my lunch pail, my boots on. I'm ready to go at it. That's what this video is for. That's how my videos are going to be moving forward. If you would like to have the long version of the fundamentals, the technicals, all of it, put it all together in a video, you're at the right place. Hit the subscribe button. If you're looking for the quick videos, I just need the info, go to my Crypto Mo channel. I have a link down below. And I'll be still doing crypto videos over there, the smaller versions you guys like. But for this channel, we're all about the big news. And that's what we're going to do. We don't want to waste time with these quick updates. We want the big, in-depth research, and that's what I'm doing. And I figure if I'm doing it all, why not give it to the people? Give it to the viewers. If you guys appreciate that, let me know down below. I'll spend the hours and hours and hours reviewing, putting it together, and then trying to get it in under 30 minutes for you every day. And that's the goal. So today, what are we talking about? Well, I know you guys know I have a lot of equities, but equities are a part of this mess as well. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Big moves will happen next week, and this is the warning. U.S. Senate crypto bill heads to markup in the committee without Democrat support. Senate Agricultural Committee schedules the January 27 markup for crypto bill without Democratic support. Advancing partisan, that's just one side legislation's banking committee delays Clarity Act as the stablecoin yield disputes and industry divisions. I talked about this. We know Brian Armstrong, the CEO, the head honcho of Coinbase. He's not happy with it. You know, and you got a lot of people out there that are talking about, is no bill better than a bad bill? And that's what Brian Armstrong was discussing. And the government saying, you do not want a bill written down the road when it is a different party, because it'll be even more restrictive. And so there's some discussions there, some talking back and forth, some jawing, if you will. And at the end of the day, you have Trump coming out. You guys know I've been telling you this, saying he expects this to get done in the United States to be the crypto capital of the world this year. And I have other people out there I'm hearing in the government saying they expect to get this done this year. I believe it will get done this year. It's not if, but when. And we have heard that as well. So, what's the warning? Well, you look at your portfolio. You look at what you got in there. Think about like earnings day. You got earnings day. When earnings comes out for a company, the stock's going to go up or down a pretty big jump, usually 5-10%, depending on how it does. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the times there's a big move. Well, to me, these votes are like earnings day. And is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? How is everybody going to vote? Are we going to get party line? Are we going to get everybody together? And right now you have the U.S. Senate, and it's not everybody together. A lot of the bills have been everybody together, and it's been fantastic. The House voted, and it was beautiful. It was a massive bipartisan. They all worked together. They got it done. And then it goes to the Senate, and the Senate's a headache. The Senate doesn't get it done. They're battling. No, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, how big is this? What's the situation? And basically it comes down to this. The Agricultural Committee attempts to refine this further. They got days left. We got days left before this comes to a vote. Not many days, but they got some days left. And they're trying to figure out a middle ground. Something where, the no bill is better than a bad bill. How about it? We want this to be, this bill is better than no bill. That's what we want to get to. And I think Brian Armstrong's thinking that in his head. This bill's better than no bill. Not no bill's better than a bad bill. And if we can get to that point, I believe you will see Brian Armstrong go ahead and support it. And once he throws his support, watch crypto jump like a, I don't know, what jump? A kangaroo. I was going to say koala. You think koalas jump? You think you know how slow they are? You think sloth? You think sloths jump? Can you see that? What's a hyper sloth like? I don't even know. Anyways, so we got some, the issue is volume threshold for allowing yield-like rewards for smaller issuers. 5 million in daily volume while keeping the strict ban on big stable, right here. 2, protect the traditional banking system. So I don't think anybody wants to see the traditional banking system absolutely collapse and see the economy go into despair. I understand how this all works, but I also understand that it's not always as bad as it sounds in terms of, hey, they're going to have stablecoin yields, and now there's competition between banks and crypto to give the best yields for investors. Folks, do you want 0.1% interest, or do you want 3 to 5% interest on your money in the bank? Remember back when it was 0.1% interest for so long in the banks? But if you wanted a car loan or a house loan or something, it's like 7 to 10%. So they pay the savers 0.1%, but then they charge you as a user of the funds that are saved by the savers, and they're charging you a massive amount. It was ridiculous. Then all of a sudden the rates went up, and now you can get yourself 2%, 1%. In a savings account, maybe 1%. You get those CDs where, hey, now I got to lock it up for a year and I get 3%. Wow. How about crypto? It gives you 5% and you can take it out at any given time. That's nice. And that's what the banks are terrified of. No lockup period. You got it in there. You're getting your 5%. Big, right? The profits that the banks make are affected by crypto. I've been saying this for a long time. It is a dinosaur. When you look at traditional finance, it is a dinosaur. Something's going to come along that gives users, and I'm talking about savers and everybody else, better payouts. And this is it. And so the banks are terrified they're going to lose that big profit. Oh, they don't want to lose that profit. And I can show you something here, and I'm going to show you. We move over, and you say, "How much? Well, what happens if it fails, Mo? What happens if this Clarity Act? You warned us, and you're saying that if it fails, we're going to see a pullback." This is the estimates that I was able to find. All right, and this is a huge research put together in an easy to find chart for you. And man, oh man, oh man, you want to see a scary Mo? I'm talking about me. Give me the Pro Gemini AI research Holy, I know what to be asking and look for and things that other people don't. And I'm telling you, once I put it together and we come up with my estimated market drawdowns here, you start to get a real idea of what things can do. And so here we go. At the end of what I could find, if this is voted down, if we come into this, and we're talking about the Clarity Act. Remember, we had the Parity Act as well, which I think is going to be good. But the Clarity Act, first off, you're going to have, and if it does not happen and they push it to 2027, at the earliest 2027, keep in mind that there's going to be an election in November. If everything flips the other way, how easy do you think it is for this bill to pass either way? It's not. And so I would hate to see that, because there's such an opportunity to grow this brand new sector for both sides. But man, you know what it is. One party hates the other party no matter what. And it goes both ways. And so we're going to see if they can work together on this and get this done or not. But if it does not get done, if this does not succeed, my estimate is we're going to see a 15 to 25% drop as soon as it happens. And I mean quickly, within days. Bitcoin flight to safety, but it would still lose about 15 billion in institutional ETF inflows right here. Right there. There's your floor, 65 to 70,000. We move on to Ethereum. It's more sensitive to security versus commodity debate. Failure to pass the act leaves its status in limbo. Is it a security? Is it a commodity? Likely leading to a deeper retracement, and we are going back 25 to 35%. We're back down to 1,800 to 2,000. I truly believe that, and that's bad. Move down to mid caps. You got XRP and Solana. Just figure they're going to lose 40 to 60% off their current price. That's right. It's the only way I could ever see XRP going back under $1. If we fail on the Clarity Act, I expect to see that down close to $1. Could go under. Solana would lose, you can see it, 40 to 60% off current prices. That'd be tough. But hey, I don't do crypto, Mo. I just buy equities related to crypto. Well, good news for you. Stocks like Coinbase and MicroStrategy would lose 30 to 45% off theirs. That's a massive loss. You don't think Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, realizes that by not getting things done, it could cost his holders a big amount of money. Now, I'm not saying he should pass the worst thing ever and it's going to destroy, I get it. He knows what he's doing. He has his analysts. He has his algorithms working for him. They're telling him exactly what they could do to get this to happen. And it's okay. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. And they could always do new things down the road. That's what I think they're trying to get done. So remember, you got a lot of money flowing everywhere. People are investing a ton of cash. A 30 to 45% lost? Ooh, that would be bad. That would be bad. There is so much money being spent everywhere. And that's what I'm wondering about is, where do we go with this? I'm going to show you some charts here in a second. Before I do, though, understand that the upside is massive in terms of what could be done. I was watching, trying to figure out how much money we're going to see being put towards this. And I found an article talking about 2025, and it was talking about how much money was being spent by the banks. And I read some research that was talking about this, and they said that there's been over $50 million in lobbying and everything else from that industry to move into getting what they need. And I understand that. And I don't know how much money crypto has spent. I'm sure it is a lot as well. But man, oh man, oh man, this is getting ugly. Now let's go ahead and move over to something a little bit different. So we got that warning for next week. Now we move. Oh, what? BlackRock? Let's go. Let's go. BlackRock out there, we know assets under management, AUM, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. They are the big dog when it comes to the U.S. and what they want and where they want to see things go. So don't think that they don't have a little bit of action on this. They do. And so as we watch all this, I always like to see what BlackRock is thinking lately. And they came out and they recognize, as you can see, the dominance in tokenization, Ethereum. Now, I talk about some of the best cryptos to buy now that I have in my portfolio. I don't know what you got in your portfolio. I'd love to hear what you have in your portfolio. Let's write down below in the comments, what cryptos do you hold? You don't have to tell me how much. Just what cryptos, what are your biggest few cryptos? If it makes up like 90%, just what cryptos make up 90%? Are you in Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana? Maybe you're in HBAR, AVAX. I don't know. ADA, it's up to you. I'm curious. BlackRock recognizes Ethereum's dominance in tokenization. The network underpinning 65% of tokenized assets. That's a ton. That is more than a ton. That's a lot of pounds. All right. So potentially position it as the toll road to blockchain-based markets. That's big. I've always said that Ethereum, if you go by utility, Ethereum's going to crush it. That's all you have to do. If you believe in crypto long term, continue to buy through the ups and downs, not through the daily ups and downs. I'm talking about the monthly, the semi-annually, the annually ups and downs. And you'd probably do extremely well. Extremely well. Adoption of stablecoins is outpacing spot crypto trading volumes, indicating that the tokenized assets may have a use case beyond speculative trading. Ethereum poised to benefit from a shift in legacy financial institutions towards blockchain-based markets. This is what the banks are afraid of. Everybody's already seeing it, and BlackRock is making it known. You got BlackRock's U.S. head of equity ETFs, Jay Jacobs, believes Ethereum has the potential to accrue value as more firms tap into the network for creating digital representations of real-world assets. This is the growing adoption of blockchain technology and tokenization as a key trend. Well, folks, you got BlackRock out there doing their things. They are they release their data, they release their information. We know it's good. And when you see the largest companies in the world coming out and being pro Ethereum, thus pro crypto, that's big. And they do have a spot ETF for Ethereum. They don't have a ton for all of them, but the ones they got, they have done their due diligence. And if they're going to roll them out, expect them to do extremely well in the long term. They don't roll it out if they expect it to lose 80, 90, even 100%. They don't expect that. And that's something you got to keep in the back of your pocket. Understand that BlackRock's not there unless it is a decent opportunity. There's no such thing as guarantees, but a decent opportunity for investors that work with BlackRock. These are the richest people in the world. You don't get trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in AUM. All right, let me look it up real quick. AUM. I'm going to look it up because I'm actually curious. There you go. BlackRock AUM. That's assets under management. They control $14 trillion. That's a single company controlling $14 trillion. Folks, you understand how powerful this company is? That is a massive, massive company. And wow. And they keep getting more and more money. Record $342 billion in net inflows in Q4. I'm guessing some of that has to do with the crypto. And they realize that this is a sector that gives them an opportunity to absolutely crush it moving forward and get even more funds. And that's what I think is going to happen. Now, they're not alone. When you see BlackRock coming out and doing a lot of different growth with the crypto sector, you see other big players starting to get involved. Who are we talking about, Mo? Well, I have 5 in my portfolio. 5. I got the Dogecoin for fun, but it's not fun. I'm trying to make a lot of money, and I don't expect it to do. We'll see. It's my lottery ticket. It is my lottery ticket. I expect it to get some love from the spot ETFs, depending on the Clarity Act and all that. But I also have XRP, Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. What did Morgan Stanley come out and do, folks? What did Morgan Stanley decide to help us with today? Morgan Stanley widens its crypto bet with proposed spot Ethereum ETFs. Remember when I did a couple of videos a few weeks ago, and I said they did Bitcoin and Solana, and they ignored Ethereum. You had Morgan Stanley not doing an Ethereum one, and then boom, here's the Ethereum. So they have the Ethereum one and the Solana and the Bitcoin. So they have the big three. The big three. Oh, what about XRP? I know. Are they going to do that one? Dogecoin? I don't know. But when I look at Ethereum and Solana, they're like competitors. And obviously Ethereum's like the senior in high school, and this is we're an elementary guy who's trying to grow up and be able to fight the high schooler. We'll see. We'll see how Solana does. I got money on both of them. You never know. And of course, Bitcoin. So I talked to you about BlackRock having all that money. I talked to you about Morgan Stanley now rolling out its first ever spot ETFs. And this is just the beginning. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. This sector is growing. It's growing so quickly, and the momentum is so big that the government is absolutely just, it's so powerful of an issue. They're batting at each other. And this is a very powerful subject, one that could absolutely decide elections. And there's a lot of money flowing. Tens of millions, and I'm expecting hundreds of millions by November. This could be hundreds of millions of dollars spent in order to try to get legislation. Legacy bank, savers not getting enough compared to what crypto can do. Crypto versus banks, traditional finance versus DeFi. Which one's going to win? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. I hope we can get both sides of the aisle to sit down, come up with something that works for everyone, and not be bought out by either side. And that's the problem I have. Can't we come up with legislation to help a brand new growing sector that's in the trillions now, to give it the guide rails so it can grow nicely? I don't understand it, and I'll say it again. We invented the automobile with crypto. Why do we have to allow the horse and buggies to throw tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, into it to make sure the automobile never takes off? I don't get it. I don't like it. I want the automobile over my horse and buggy. I'm tired of shoveling horse crap. I don't want that. Hopefully you don't either. Now that moves us into where we are. I'm going to do something. I always do the weekly candles, but let's take a look at the daily candles. I want to look at the weekly candles now. So I'm going to start with, what do I got up? I got Ethereum up. I got ETH. So let's take a look at ETH. On the weekly candles, we had the 5 coming down, 13 just crossed. That, I got to be blunt, that's normally bad. When the 13 crosses the 50, I normally see a big sell-off within 3 candles of the 13 crossing. I can't promise you that that's not going to happen. In other words, when that normally happens, I do expect to hit this low. I don't know if we will, though. Right here. So that low, oh, I didn't put it on right. Let's go ahead and put up Coinbase. Yeah, I already have it. Let's go ahead and pull it up. I want to pull it up to the weekly, put it right there. So, yeah, it's roughly 2,800. That's the 2,800 I got. Are we going to hit it? Are we not going to hit it? I don't know. But I will say this. Usually I would expect it at the 5 and the 13. If we can't push this back up and start to see this grow, that's what I would expect. If we get something that actually gives us some hope, and we're talking next week during that markup, then we have a chance. But right now, the weekly can't. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful run until this. The whole, hey, I'm pulling our support. Coinbase pulling the support because they release all the pages and they don't like it and everybody starts walking back. And that's what you get right there. And what do you think happens if they can't get it done? Well, if we start to cross underneath 2,800, it tells me most likely the odds of them getting it done probably aren't good. I've seen this dance before, and I don't know if I want to go out there and dance again with it. It's ugly. All right, so that's Ethereum. 2,800 is your price. Confirm below 2,800. Finish under 2,800. Have another closing candle underneath that one. You got your confirmation. We are dropping. Hello, Mo. Well, I got it. That's easy. We're probably going all the way back down to here. And I gave you some numbers there if it fails completely. I already told you 2,000. Right here's the line you're going to go down to. You're going to hit this line if it fails. That, my friend, could be 1,500 to 1,600 range. That could happen. And I know you're like, no. Yep, absolutely. So they call for that big loss if they can't pass that bill. Absolutely could run all the way down here. I don't know if it hits it. Could get close. Usually that selling will have a candle, a wick come all the way down and hit it, and then it bounces up. Maybe a candle doesn't close down here, but we usually will tap that. All right? And so you got to be careful. Then we go over to Bitcoin. Let's look at them all. You got Bitcoin here. It was starting to run up nicely. Even got up to the 50 EMA. Then all that nonsense this week pushed it right back down. So you guys see what I'm looking for. I'm going to get rid of some of these lines that I'm watching. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I don't need this one. I was looking at a lot of different things. So at this point, where do we go? Where do we hit? You had this all the way back down to 87. Now we're at, what, 88.5? We need to get back above the 13, which is 94. Like, you need something to come out to make this big. And we need to get back above the 5 at least. And the 5 right now is what, 92? 91 something. 91,000 mid numbers. We get back above that, we're all right. But right now, we're only at 88.4. Not good. Moving over, Solana. That's my other one I think has a chance. But the problem with this one, and you can see we hit on that support line. Look at this, right here. Boom. We came over, hit this support. Boom. Get rid of some of these other lines. Let's go. Get rid of these. Clean this up for you. And as you start to watch this, you start to see the support. We came down, hit it right here 3 times in a row. Back up we go. The run was ready. And then all of a sudden, the issues with the Clarity Act came out. Boom. De-risking by major investors. And then now we tap the support, and now we're moving back up. We'll go Dogecoin real quick in XRP. Dogecoin, we are right there, and we are on it. I'm telling you this, it makes me nervous for the Dogecoin family. Because I can tell you, we are on that support right now. Give me a week underneath there, this thing's going to collapse. And that's what I'm afraid of. If we get any kind of good news for the 27th, any kind of good news that they're working together, expect this to take off. But until then, it's all high risk. And that, my friends, leads us up to XRP. XRP, as you can see, similar situation. Remember the pricing that I gave you for the XRP price prediction. Is it one of the best cryptos to buy now? If they can pass this legislation, I believe so. But if they can't pass this legislation, we're back in limbo. And limbo isn't good. And limbo doesn't get us to where we want to get to for financial freedom. And you can see we started to push back up. It was going to be a massive run, and down we go. So a lot to look at there. Even the Qs. You look at the Qs. Hey, it was a good day. Hey, that's all right. But if they can't get these things to work, you could see a turnaround and we start running down. Now, if you guys want to do this all by yourself, you can. You don't need to sit here and be a part of this channel. I get it. You can go out and research. You can, do a ton of time to do it, and you absolutely can. But if you want to be a part of a group of people, thousands and thousands of us who are working together to try to make this journey to financial freedom a little easier, I got my first link down below to the Discord. It goes to Patreon. Once you get over to Patreon, you'll see this. You just scroll down. Right here it is. Join your earner tier. Get you access to my live streams, the learning, the expert traders, and a ton of stuff. Breadbot charts, all this stuff. And that's what it's about. Other people are charging thousands of dollars. I just roll my eyes. And they're like 100, 200, 300 a month. I roll my eyes. You go into mine. I'm a teacher. I'm trying to help people. And we pay a lot of money to get this thing running and to give all the things we give, and we only charge 25 bucks for your first month. After you're in there, you make up your mind. Is it worth it? Is it not? I have a very, very strong feeling you're going to be blown away and be like, wow, why wasn't it in there sooner? So get in there, folks. First link down below. Code 2026, but it should be automatic. If it's not, 2026 gets you 50% off that first month. All right, folks, that's it. That's the update. I'll see you in the Discord. Be sure to like and subscribe. Now let's get out there and make some money.